Please make some noise, my friends, and welcome our guests. We've got Tyler Hoechlin, Bitsie Tulloch, and Michael Cudlitz. A nice mini runway for you as you cross. Enjoy. Welcome. Good one. How royal.
I will absolutely topple off of this chair at some point.
And if not,
we'll start the timer now for you. So far, so good. I was going to ask a first question to get us started, but I'm immediately distracted by something else. How do you both keep your shoes so white? Those are the cleanest?
Mine actually are not anymore.
Oh, what a humble brag. They look fantastic. Well done, both of you.
I got them like an hour ago. So
Yeah. It's a pretty big thing that you took on. Some pretty iconic characters. When faced with something like this, you get the call, congratulations. What was kind of the lifeline for all of you that you knew that you were going to be able to sink into these characters super quickly? In the sense of like, she is like this, and I am like this too. Was there a trait that you were like, ooh, even with the overwhelming quote-unquote responsibility of playing these iconic characters, you're like, this is my lifeline. We have this in common, and I know we do.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I never looked at him as anything more than who he was. I always kind of felt like Superman's what he can do, but Clark is who he is. So yeah, I think like any other character, just trying to find the things that made him, really made him tick, that were kind of like his core. So yeah, I don't think, in a weird way, I know the character is iconic, but the undertaking didn't feel that way to me from like the beginning. I think just my meeting that I had with Greg before I did Supergirl, we were very much on the same page about, you know, what we thought of the character, how we saw him, what we thought really defined him and stuff. So I always felt like oddly comfortable with Clark. So
Tyler had done a year or two, I guess, on Supergirl when I was cast. And this is a true story, and I actually don't know if I've ever mentioned this before, but when I was cast, I was 4.5 months pregnant with my daughter, and I was literally in the middle of an investigation because there was somebody who I knew by proxy who had conned somebody who was a friend of mine. And then I found out there were a couple other people I found out this person had conned. And so I started basically putting it all together. And just coincidentally, I've never done anything since, but I was like, hey, I have access to this information and I can connect these people and maybe they can get their money back or whatever. And anyway, so the audition comes in and I was pregnant and I was like, oh, that's so funny because all of my life I've been told I look like Margot Kidder. And a little bit of Courtney Cox too, but definitely Margot Kidder. And it came in and then my team was like, are you showing? And I'm like, no, I'm not really showing yet. And they said, well, I don't know if we need to tell them. And I'm like, no, I am not dishonest. You tell them that I am pregnant. So they called and then they were like, they called back and they said, I think it might be too big of a liability. We don't know if she has to do stunts or be flying with Tyler or whatever. And then one of the producers and the casting director called back and said, no, this is our Lois. She's coming in. And it was a scene I was auditioning with it was a cut scene from, I want to say, Superman 2. And all I remember was I was very, my take on it was really fun and a little feisty, but fun. And they all started clapping. It was just like, you know, you've done all right if the producers are like clapping after it. And, they called the next day and they're like, we have to send it up the chain of command. I would say I actually feel like I have quite a lot in common with Lois Lane. The feistiness for sure. And also just, you know, the determination and the work ethic. Yeah. Yeah.
What about you, Lex Luthor?
Yeah.
I have a tremendous amount in common. We are both incredibly misunderstood. This whole thing is a complete misunderstanding. No, I think that, you know, we say villain a lot. The villain never is the villain in their own story. And as far as Lex is concerned, all of this makes perfect sense what's happening. And in our story, as opposed to coming at it from the place of anger towards Superman and Lois, the anger comes from pain. It comes from his loss. And it's very contained within our story, and it absolutely connects with the theme of the show, which is family. So as far as Lex is concerned, he's absolutely not the villain in the story. So, you know, I think we can all connect with loss through our lives, or what if we had, you know, a child and something where someone was to do something to them or take them away from you. So yeah, so far as, you know, broad strokes, I think that we can all connect with who Lex is. So far as specifically how he connects with me or how I connect with him, we're both jerks.
But he's a hard jerk.
Dear start with you, with the fan over on this side. Hi.
Hi. Hi, y'all.
Hello.
Hi, Huckleberry.
Hello.
Wow.
I can't see you because it's so bright, and I know it's you, Devin. I know.
Oh, rest in peace.
She drops.
Okay.
She just fainted.
I'm so sorry. Hey, okay, I can't be calm now.
You're so Texas. I love you.
Those lights couldn't be in the worst place.
Oh, period. Okay.
Who did?
Okay, so I really wish we would have got more seasons, but
Period.
at least we get to wrap it up. I'll take it. But is there any arcs from like other Superman shows or movies or even the animated universes that you wish you would have got to explore in your show?
I was pretty stoked that we got to do what we're doing this season. To be honest, I didn't think. Yeah, well, that's yeah. No. They know. They're watching the show.
Oh,
They're at the panel for a reason. If any of you don't know, we're on a show called Superman and Lois. If you accidentally found yourself here,
Tiny planet.
At the cancer panel.
yeah, I was excited that we got to do that, and I was excited that we got to use Doomsday. I honestly didn't think that we would. I didn't know if we would get clearance to do that. I feel like I talked to Todd at one point, and he's like, "Yeah, I don't know if they'll give us that." So like the fact that we're getting to do what we're doing this season is pretty cool.
Well, hold on. How about Mother Fudging? Because there might be children here. Lex Luthor, we got to use. Best villain ever.
Yeah, he's right here.
But we did that.
Correct. If you want to say something else that
The
was
question
confused.
was, what didn't we do?
I would have liked to have done an episode where Lois had powers and I got to like fly around on them.
I would have seconded that just to watch her on green screen for a day on wires. I would have canceled everything I had.
Yes, but we do that. We do that
platform.
thing, and it's in episode 9 where she. Oh, never mind.
Fantastic. Thank you for your question, Fred. I'm going to jump over to this
What
side.
is happening?
The Mark Ruffalo. I was like, oh, wait till you see the next one.
Oh, now he's ruined everything.
All right, my question is for Tyler Nelton. As Superman, are there any villains from the comics that you would like to go up against on the show, like, for example, Brainiac, or Toyman, or Mr. Bigsie's Tulloch?
I gotta say, man, I am getting spoiled because I'm getting all the ones that I was hoping for. I was hoping for Doomsday. Bizarro was really fun. That was cool. And Lex Luthor, obviously. I think that was. If we hadn't done that, I don't think the show would have been complete had we not done that, to be honest. So the fact that we got Mike here doing it is pretty rad.
Big icons. I love it. Hi, my friend.
Howdy, I am way too short for this microphone.
It's got
You're killing it.
Okay.
You're killing it.
My question is, would you rather use a spoon for the rest of your life or a fork for the rest of your life, and why?
Fantastic question. That's what I'm talking about.
I'd go with a spoon because you could always turn it into a spork.
No, you can't. That's not a rule. You have to do a spoon.
It's my spoon. I can do whatever I want with it. I want to sit there and grind it down, but you can't turn a fork into a spoon.
Definitely a fork because I can drink my soup, and anything that's mushy, I'll just, warming it up. We all saw Bizarro's Superman with the rat. It would just look like
This is like, just so you guys know, from me, from the outside, if you're wondering, these two, this is what what it's like on set all the time. They are amazing together. Just amazing.
Oh man, we did have too much fun. I'm gonna go with the spoon as well. I'm on the same page as Mike right there.
Loser.
You can get enough. You get
That's
enough.
Lex loser
Of course,
to
you can still
you.
you can still chop it up if you need to. I'm gonna go with the spoon.
What's y'all's favorite part of y'all's character?
Favorite part?
I like my foot.
Does it get a lot of screen time? Is it like...
The reason I wanted to play the character in the first place was just, especially when they approached me back when I started on Supergirl, there was just a lot of negativity in the zeitgeist, and it just felt very overwhelming. And it was like, you know what? Yeah, I think I've been coming out of like a cynical phase of my life, and I was like, I want to do something that's a little bit more hopelessly romantic about the world, and just looking through a more bright-eyed lens. And so I thought of the character representing hope and optimism, and there's always potential for a better future and things like that. I was like, yeah, more of that. So I think that's my favorite thing about it. I mean, Lex could probably say the same thing too, so, you know.
I think what I was drawn to was the determination, the ferocity, the feistiness, her work ethic, the pursuit of truth. Yeah, all of the reasons that, you know, I kind of, when I got it, it wasn't necessarily to kind of call back to the first question, like I was intimidated, I was honored, but I trusted I've been cast for a reason, and whatever I brought into the room is kind of what they want to see on screen. And it was more of a, all right, why has this woman remained as iconic as Superman? They were introduced at the same time for this long, and a lot of it had to do with, like, when she was first introduced in the 30s, you didn't see a lot of representations of women being workhorses like that. All of that. The grit, she's a badass. She's a superhero just without, she can't fly. Maybe she can.
I love that he doesn't give up. He's relentless. And he will find a way.
Yeah, and that I believe.
You guys are going to love the rest of the season.
Everyone